Hi world, Frida Darcy and Patricia O'Connor here today on the Bonsai Balcony. I have left the lights on a little long. I hope the trees don't get too freaked out. We don't do this often, but it's called flashing them. I don't really know that that's the greatest thing. I want to be able to see them to work. I have set up this shot. So I'm going to mush in with camera a little, show you what I have pre-prepared. Took me about 10 minutes, but it wasn't, it wasn't all of that. So I'll show you what we've done, and then I'm going to throw you basically in the head of that tripod there, and we're gonna see if we can get some movement, some big time movement into this. I've never done this type of move on a piece of branch this heavy, on a limb this heavy, on a piece of wood this heavy, on a bonsai tree. I used to be a rigger in film, so I'm kind of used to sometimes working with Jackson levers and blocks and falls and turnbuckles and what have you. But what we've done so far is I've got my Bonsai Jack in place. Actually, I just started off looking at it to see where I was going to put it. And when I went to do that, I noticed that there was a mark where somebody had been here ahead of me. So I didn't pat it. It was already a mark there. So I just set it down gently in that mark on, which is reason for concern. Why did somebody come here and then maybe I'm looking at what they did and they stopped there. The other end is connected to the bottom and right here by this deadwood feature, which gives us latitude to work with this deadwood feature as we see fit. It could probably use a little bit more trimming right around here. The edge looks a little manufactured, a little bit, just a tiny bit. So that's where the Bonsai Jack is attached. I have a wire here attached to help me take up the slack. It's looped through the top. That is a folded rawhide chamois. It's folded over about 6 times, and then it's folded over again about 6 times on the bottom to give us a little. I have raffia. I have a lot of raffia. Never used raffia on bark. That ends up being what tears your bark off. You just wrap that on there really tight, and when you cut it off, you'll see all your bark laying there on the ground, or your raffia will have torn it up. Now, you could use it on other things. I could use it on, like for instance, this guy. Why? If I were going to put a heavy bend in that, would I raffia it? No, but not for the same reasons. The reason I wouldn't put raffia on that pine is I want to see it when it cracks. If I'm doing something all crazy like that I think I need the reinforcement, I'll try to get the reinforcement with the strategic location of the wire. Meanwhile, I want to see the tears and breaks when they're happening in real time. Not hear a pop, a muffled pop underneath raffia, and then have the limb die because I broke it and couldn't see it. So that's kind of why I don't practice with raffia in front of y'all. I don't really see the need for it most of the time. It's a cool look. I like it, and I can see where some other trees that if we were doing wiring and stuff and they didn't have like crackly bark and stuff, it might be a way to go. For other trees, it's something that will be the thing that tears up your stuff, or it will keep you. It will cause it to be the thing that keeps you from being able to properly read the situation. So that's a big long excuse as to why I'm not using any of my raffia. But had I decided to go with raffia, I would have taken a couple of yards of it. I would have taken about 3 strands of it. They would have been about 6 feet long. I would have soaked them for about 15 to 30 minutes. And then whereas everybody else will pull it tight, hold it, pull another, and then hold that and pull it, I always put half hitches in it. I don't see the difference except the half hitch, and it holds itself for itself. I mean, because it's a half hitch. I don't know. I don't know why that wasn't. I don't know why that wouldn't have been the thing to do, but that's also what I'm not doing, so we're not even going to worry about it. This is the rig as I've set up. There's nothing left to do but replant camera, and the idea is normally when you see people do this, there's a good reason. There's a really good reason why you usually see more than one people doing this. And while I'm rigging camera here, bear with me for a minute. While I'm rigging camera, I will discuss some of those reasons. One, it is awful handy to have somebody else. That was pretty good. It's awful handy to have somebody else pulling up that line on the bottom with the pair of pliers while the person is up in the top watching the jack and making sure that where they're bending they don't see a crack or anything. I can do all of that. I just have to go from one place to the other. The other side is this could be dangerous. I don't look for this to be dangerous here, but say this was a larger piece of Yamadori wood, we could end up with several hundred pounds of force on it, and if the jack were to break, it could sling around and take out an arm, Yeah. So there have been people hurt doing stuff like this or putting things under heavy tension. I don't think this tree is big enough to hurt us too bad. I hope that we're not being I hope that we don't do anything aggressive and hurt it. Now, there is always that risk, but let me just say right off, I don't think we're going to risk anything or I wouldn't do it. That's, there is always some risk. I could put a quarter of a turn in that thing and it could snap, and that would be my first experience with bonsai jacks on bonsai trees. But I don't believe that's going to happen, and I feel pretty strongly about that, or I wouldn't be taking this chance. This isn't, we're just going to do it and see if it, and hope for the best. I have some confidence that I can do that. Having said that, I've never done it before, so hang on to your bootstraps and let's see how we do. So the idea is I will then start to crank this up, and as I crank it up, I've got these wires here that you see. They are snug enough to hold these guys in place. They are not so snug as to start doing any of the work yet. With us today, I have a pair of standard pliers. I have a pair of stainless side pliers. I have my Nipex wire cutters. I have another pair of stainless gin pliers, and I have my favorite gin pliers. Just basically anything that one-handed Pat may want to grab. I might be done with this in 5 minutes, or we could hear a snap, and that would be an exciting video. I would kind of hate to publish that, but that would be pretty exciting. So let's see what we got, and let's see what we're doing. I'm going to try to position myself in a good place. Also, I have to watch that I have clearance here. I have clearance here. I have clearance here. This branch was tied over here. I cut it loose, and I may have to watch it as I guide this down. Y'all see it going down? I can. I haven't heard anything yet. I'm looking over here to see anything moving in that. In fact, we'll just do this for a minute. How am I? Am I out of that tree? I am. I'm out of that tree. Now, forgot. I better get back over here and start pulling this out. If y'all can see it, I'm kind of back into my cypress tree. It's kind of used to that with me. I'm not hurting it. it's, you know, it's like if I back into my pine tree, I go, you're messing up needles. If I back up into some other things, I go, oh, you're tearing up maple leaves. If I back into this a little bit, I went, oh, that's my cypress. It hugs me back. It doesn't care. So, yeah, I'm taking a minute to take up the slack that I just created with our jack. I'm not pulling this limb up with that wire. Oh, wow. This thing is getting hyper aggressive all of a sudden. What I mean by that is you just saw me do all that to take the slack up and a quarter turn, and all that slack is right back in there. And I still haven't heard a sound. Now, let's say for some reason I felt like we needed to stop, or I didn't think this was working out. The counter idea would be to change the angle when I repot it. I would have to up pot it a certain amount so that this exposed root would be kind of a mound and be up high, but then would still have substrate underneath it because it probably has a lot of root amassed underneath it. And I would just tilt it at that angle until we got that action. I don't see it yet. I see it moving. I don't really see. Yeah, I do. There it goes. I'm listening for any sound. I'm looking over here. I'm just now starting to see the corner of a piece of bark lifting. It's not even lifting from its base as much as the base is kind of moving away from it because of the bend I'm putting in there. And this still doesn't feel too aggressive. But can you see how loose that is now? She's got her sleeves out. I'm serious now. I looked at this tree when I in the photograph, in the one picture that came with it, when I was going to buy it, when I was looking to buy it, and I thought about it and I went, are you going to be able to do anything about that straight line right there? And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to bring that down. I'm behind camera seeing what it is y'all are seeing. I'm amazed how much movement it's going to take to, I'm kind of surprised how much it's going to take to give me what I want out of it. It seems like I've already moved it a lot and it doesn't look like enough to me. But I haven't had any reason to slow down from this either. I do not really see anything forming in here that's causing us any I can see where this angle is getting more acute. Though I can see where that was like this, and now we're more like that. That was quite a bit of turns though, just to get down there, and all of this looks a little busier now. Slightly, okay. Give myself a little bit more room to look. Still looks a little flat to me. I thought I'd hit something, and the handle here was rubbing on some of my part. I felt the handle, the T handle rub against some of my tools. Where yeah, geez Louise. I'm gonna run this up. See how much I have to catch up from just that couple of turns? Okay, you know what? I think okay. All right, I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to stop here forever. I'm going to stop here, and I think I want to do it more. I think I've made really good progress. I actually thought I would do this in one. On one hand, I would say I moved it probably maybe twice as much as I thought I was going to on the Jack. On the other hand, I would say I only got maybe 2/3 here out of it. I don't want to get that. I don't want to be greedy and try to get that last third at the expense of anything. I brought that down. In fact, I brought that down enough to where now this needs to come out. We can see where I can see that if I brought it down enough to where that's going to necessitate a few more styling changes here. There's a few more things that were like this, and now they're attached to something that got brought down like that, and so I can see there how much we did. I want to live with that and maybe do this in pieces. See if I can bring that up a little. Boom. Well, yeah, you can. You can bring that up a little. It still looks straight to me in camera, but we went from here to here. Let's do a little more. Yeah. So far, the only thing I've heard is the sound of the screw. You can hear it's under tension. Muhuwaha. Sorry. Okay, gang. I'm starting to see it now. I'm just now starting to see it. I'm not going to quit. I still haven't heard a crack or a pop. I don't. I see bark that was bent at this angle is starting to lift, but it's not breaking. That was the edge of that piece of bark, but I can see where it's a little separated as this bend gets tighter. It's not lifting off of it. It's just this part's moving away and it's staying there. I don't think that's trouble. What I have here is I do have this branch resting on a piece of dead wood back here. I've got a collision right here. I'm hanging out on that. I crank this down anymore, I'll break that, and okay. We're going to, I have been talking about whether or not I wanted to do something with this dead wood. And right now I've got an intersection right here between this branch and the length of this dead wood. I think that, I'll be right back. All right. So, here's what I'm thinking. I wasn't ready to make a decision over this yet, but I had been thinking that a decision would be made about this at some point. And I'm starting back here where I don't want to use it. So if I've got a machine, so that was kind of I was able to put this guy in a part of it that already had a crack. But if we were going to leave a cut in it, it would then split the rest of it more naturally like. And I would not be, and I wouldn't have a machine mark on the part that I wanted to keep. Now weaken that enough to where I can grab this back here. My gem pliers. Pulling this back. And whereas normally the idea is you do it until it starts looking good to you, that would be a good point where it starts looking good to me as far as a piece of dead wood is concerned. But what doesn't look good to me is it's still dead in my way. But that doesn't mean, you know, this is important. It's in my way, and it's something that I was looking to make. I was looking for this to be its own show at some point. What I was going to do is part most all of this dead wood. But at the end of the day, you can look this up if you want to, but I don't think you're going to find anything on regrowing dead wood. So be careful what you do with your dead wood. I think that's fine. I kept that little V there as long as I don't get sloppy with it here at the last second. You can see how this branch is now, this limb is now at an angle, now not at an angle like what we would have set it at, nor are these, and nor are these or these. And I could go putting all that back right now, but we're not done. We're not done screwing it up, so hold your horses. So now I'm doing the thing again where we're pulling up all of our slack so that if should anything else occur, we have everything we've done so far saved under the tension of this nice little piece of copper wire here. Also, every couple of turns, now that it's tight, I release to kind of stop torquing the wire out as much. I can feel that's in a good tension. I can feel that's in a good tension. Okay. That's away from that. It wasn't that. Something stopped. Where am I at a stop? Okay. I'm pulling this up. And then we are going to put our pieces, restore our pieces, so to speak. There was my release. I'm not being real obvious about my turn and release on this wire, but I'm making sure that I don't do like 3 turns without a release, or it will break, and then that would be kind of a, yeah, that would be the best. Okay. So this limb did go over here. We brought it down that much. That was what, to me, I felt like somebody who knew good bonsai would see that. And I saw that as a flaw. I don't know. Whenever I look at this tree in the magazine, I thought I should probably try to address that. Not that magazine, the article, the ad. I thought I should probably try to address that, and I would probably also like this. It's cocked off that way, and the first observation I made is that I would like to kick this in and bring this down. And when it got shipped to me, it got put in the container, and all of these long arms got kind of folded in, and it got boxed to us like this, which I was totally fine with. I went, yeah, he knew it wasn't gonna break. He shipped it to me in a way that it would all absolutely survive. So no problem, no harm, no foul. All right. We're tight here. We're gonna see what happens when I release the jack. How much of that goes? How much of that am I giving up? I gave up a little. I'm taking it back. I'm not giving up a little. I'm going to pull this back tight again. And then pull that back tight again, and then we're going to cut off our end, and then we're going to release it. I'm going to do these 3. Okay. The nip backs, when we're done. Maybe these guys, but probably these guys. that. And that is my first endeavor with a bonsai tree on a Ponderosa, a bonsai tree, a Bonsai Jack, and bending a 1.25 inch around limb trunk on a 100+ year old Ponderosa Pine. That should be worth the price of admission. I'm happy with the way that turned out. That was not bending with a piece of wire a $9 seedling. This is to my way of thinking, a nice piece of Yamadori, and absolutely the answer to the question why I'm crazy about Ponderosas, why I'm especially crazy about Yamadori Ponderosas. I've got a lot of putting back to do. Actually, that goes that way now, Pat. Yeah, get that tip back. These tips look like we recovered at some point from spider mites. I saw that and wondered if it was spider mites, and my guest yesterday, Jonas, confirmed that, yeah, it has spider mites. Okay, I'll see different pieces that I'll see different pieces that need something and do something as needed. But right now, I have been looking forward to that and scary excited about this particular moment. I did not like the straight shelf look of that branch. I liked the branch. I liked the hook down here behind it. We do see some bark separation. I don't think that's wood necessarily problems. I think that's the bark inside here coming together and doing this and just kind of making a little pile up. That might be an opportunity for me to get that shari I'm really looking forward to. All right, we got away with that one, and I am very pleased. That was well worth the price of admission for a Bonsai Jack. I think that line is on there okay. I would like to maybe remove some of my chamois cloth, but I guess I'll probably just leave it on there to protect. It's not wrapped on there tightly, but the idea was I just laid it on there as a pad that I had folded multiple times, and on the bottom is the pad folded over multiple times. It's kind of leather / rawhide, so my feeling is that the wire probably would not cut through it, but that it wasn't going to be hard. You know, if it's hard enough to keep the wire from doing anything to the bark, then it's just going to become the thing that kills the bark. You're just trading one thing for the other. So the main thing is not to have your marks look like where you put a hammer to it, or where you put a pry bar or a saw or a hatchet or an axe. Where if you do a mark, it just has to look like it was if you do a mark, try not to do a mark, but if you do a mark, it needs to be catastrophic and not just, you know, you fumbling around with screwdrivers and stuff. Alright, stop, Pat. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. We're going to do something else. Probably, well, tomorrow's Friday. I'll go back into work on Friday. I stick my head inside the door, say hey, I sell a nut, a bolt, an anchor or two, and then I'll blow that puppy off for 2 more days, and then that leads us into Labor Day. The good news is it's Labor Day. The bad news is I have to go in earlier so I can get off early on Labor Day. Yeah, I'd rather we just left it alone, but I'm not gonna, too late to not complain. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Frida appreciates you, and we will do something else probably Friday night. We'll probably kick off our shoes Friday, knowing that we've got an easy day come Monday and nothing but a sort of longish weekend in between us. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Let's do a rotate. Yeah, let's do a rotate. You know, like a bonsai channel. Make sure I have enough room to rotate without clearing off the balcony. That would be exciting. Come back around the other way. Not a bad look either, but we're going to come back around the other way so I don't wreck your place. Yeah, there you go. We're nothing, if not near, you can really see that angle there. I would bet you're able to really tell that we were pretty active in this video. And again, thank you so much for watching.